Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with my second ever tag response video. One of my many great friends here on YouTube, Mr. DavidLeeT, tagged me for this video, and the topic is to choose the top 5 favorite video games based on other media. Now this can include comic books, it could include books, TV shows, movies, anything that inspired video games. And his 5 picks were really awesome. I mean, he picked some incredible games. So I'm gonna try and do my best to pick, or at least share with you guys my 5 favorite video games in that category. So first off, I have Ultimate Muscle, New Generation, on the GameCube. This video game was actually inspired from a toy line that came out in the 80s, the Muscle toys. They were these little toys, pink little toys that came out, and they were, they were wrestlers. And if you've seen my videos, you know I'm a huge wrestling fan. So I collected a few of those, and then those inspired a game on the NES. But in the 2000s, they brought back the Muscle series with the toys again, and then with an anime called Ultimate Muscle, the New Generation. And it focuses on Kid Muscle, who's this guy. He's actually the son of King Muscle, who's the the main character in the first series. And the anime is pretty out there. I mean, the anime is pretty out there. Best example, Kid Muscle's main mode of transportation is that he can fly through the air by farting. So that's pretty unique to say the least. But the video game is really top notch. I mean, it has cel shaded graphics, so it looks just like the anime, and it has the same voice actors. But the most important thing about this game is that it's fun. It's developed by the Aki Corporation, who did the WCW games and then the WWE games on the N64. They made the Def Jam games on the GameCube and the PlayStation 2. So they know their wrestling. They know when they program a wrestling game, it's going to be top notch. And this game is really fun, and it satisfies my wrestling tastes and my anime tastes. So number 5, really good wrestling game. Number 4 is actually a game that it's inspired by a remake of the 1930s classic King Kong. Peter Jackson, who directed The Lord of the Rings, always wanted to make a King Kong remake, and he did so. And I was really excited about that movie, because I loved The Lord of the Rings, and I was really curious to see what he would do with King Kong. I went to see the movie, and the movie was kind of disappointing. I mean, the first hour, they could have trimmed that down, and it would have worked. And then when they fall into that pit and they're surrounded by those bugs, that is the most depressing scene I've ever seen in a movie. But the parts with King Kong were really cool. And that, in turn, inspired my number 4 pick, Peter Jackson's King Kong, the video game. Sort of an overlooked game. A lot of people, at least, again, most of my friends didn't get to play this game, but I freaking love this game. I remember playing a demo of it and was blown away by how awesome it looked. You play this game in 2 ways. One is a first-person shooter style, where you control the human character that's making his way through Skull Island, and you go around fighting bugs, giant bugs, and then dinosaurs, and that's pretty cool because you have to think of ways to survive because you don't get a lot of ammunition. And then the other way is when you play as King Kong, and that's kind of like a fighting adventure game. But this game is really awesome. It's made by Peter Ansel, who created the Rayman games. So it's really fun. If you haven't played it, I would definitely recommend it because it's an awesome game. My number 3, and I'm going to go into my favorite category, which is comic books. Seen my videos, I love comic books. And I just had to pick some games based on comic books. And the first one that I'm going to show is my number 3. And that's The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. This is a sandbox game, kind of like Spider-Man 2 and Grand Theft Auto. But this game blows those 2 games out of the water. I mean, the missions are actually a lot more fun than in Spider-Man 2, and you can cause a lot of destruction, way more destruction than you can cause on Grand Theft Auto. I mean, you can literally, with enough time and enough weapons, you can literally bring down buildings and lay waste to the whole city. And you know, when your wanted level rises, you have to deal with tanks and helicopters, Hulkbuster droids. I mean, it's total chaos, and it's so much fun. I played a lot into this game. I put in a lot of hours, because it's just really, really fun, and you vent a lot of your rage controlling the Hulk. So, by far one of the best comic book based games out there. So, a lot of fun. Number 2 is inspired by one of my favorite series of all time. Actually, my second favorite movie of all time, and that's Return of the Jedi. Talking of course about the Star Wars franchise, who, you know, has gone through everything. They've gone through comic books, the movies, of course, TV shows, everything, toy lines, you know, everything is inspired by Star Wars. And they've had a lot of really cool video games, but personally, my favorite one is Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader. This is actually a sequel to a game that came out on the N64, which was really epic, but this one recreates the Battle of Endor in the best way I've ever seen. Like I said, Return of the Jedi, second favorite movie of all time, mostly because of that scene where Lando Calrissian is driving the Millennium Falcon, and a whole squad of the whole squad of the rebels are after the second Death Star, and then they realize that it's operational. They turn around, and there's this armada of Star Destroyers and TIE Fighters against them. They recreate that spot on this game. I mean, you have the madness of the TIE Fighters, and then the beautiful moon of Endor on the background, and then, you know, you have to take out the Star Destroyers. Just one of the best scenes ever in any video game recreated here, and it's just a lot of fun. I still pop this into the GameCube and play that level alone because it's really, really awesome. I love this game. And my number 1 pick for a video game inspired by other media is, again, I'm going to go back with comic books, and I'm going to go with my favorite comic book hero of all time. I could not omit this on this list, and that's the Batman. Batman on the NES is just distilled epicness in card form. I mean, this takes elements from the comic book series and from the first Tim Burton movie. It mixes a little bit of Ninja Gaiden, and it's just mega fun. It's hard as hell, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been 20 plus years and I still can't beat this game. But it is so much fun just playing it, and the music, oh man, Sunsoft on the NES did some awesome music. Just a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite games ever. And I'm also going to include the sequel that came out for the Super Nintendo, Batman Returns, which is in turn based on the second Tim Burton movie with Catwoman and the Penguin. This game was made by Konami, who also did the Turtles in Time video game. So they know their beat-em-ups, and Konami did an awesome job with this. The music is also really cool. The animations for Batman are just awesome. So these two games are my number 1 pick for favorite video games based on other media. I mean, you don't mess with the goddamn Batman, and these two games are really, really cool. So those were my picks. I hope you liked them. I know I did. I love these games, and I'm going to continue to tag, and I'm actually going to tag 2 other friends I have here on YouTube. I'm going to tag N64 Collector 22. I'm really curious to see what games you pick. And I'm also going to tag Mr. TK Dude, also another really good gamer out there, and I'm really curious to see what games you pick as well. So, yeah, that was a tag video. Thank you, DavidLeeT, for tagging me, and hope to see your guys' responses. And until I see you again, this is Vargas XX78, signing off.